want you, when they hear a strange voice, that they will flee. Ain't that how you would want your woman when she hear another dude jamming at her? Hey, baby, you know, that man you with ain't no good, come be with me. You want her to be like, get the hell away and run from it. Really not to be seduced by it.
Wait, that. That also goes.
Looking in the eye.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, cause you said flee, or you know make a noise, much like Deuteronomy 22.
Right.
You know.
You gotta let them know like, hey, you trying to kidnap me, so to speak, right?
Yep.
It says anyway. This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "They say if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, said the Lord Yahweh." Hey, so I mean, if we can clean up the nation that way, and we can clean up our women that way, the nation can be cleaned. I said it backwards. The nation can be cleaned up that way. Okay, and then individuals can be cleaned up that way. You know, we're all filthy. We all worship. We all need mercy. We've all done some questionable shit. You know, believing in Cesare Borgia or what Halloween and whatever the fuck else we could have idol worship we could have been into.
Hey, under the old letter, under the first covenant.
Yeah.
We be done.
Yeah, put to death.
Because even for the sins that we committed before we came into the truth.
Exactly.
We would be out of here, man.
If it were not for that grace period.
If it wasn't for grace.
Yeah.
You know, through Yahushua, you know, sacrificing himself, man, we would have been out of here, man.
I was reading in Romans, it was talking about an atonement. We now have an atonement, but what? It's not the moment you do it, do you have that atonement? It's a certain moment for the Day of Atonement, particularly. But you have something that you sacrifice to show that you're remorseful about the ill that you've done. And sometimes that takes time. Sometimes brothers offend and don't realize they've done. Oh shit, I was going off. I was tripping. Sometimes it takes time for you to realize it. And the Most High opened it up to where we have that opportunity to realize it. You know, the Spirit will hit you, you go, oh, let me go and repent for that. You know, so how much mercy is that?
For the Lord to allow you to catch your demons and know that it's on you and you fight it off, that's mercy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Lord could just leave the demon on you.
He could just, the moment it got on you and you rolled with it, not realizing it, he could have ended you there.
Yeah.
So many other possibilities, but his long suffering and his loving kindness and his mercy is without question, man. You know? Even sending Yahushua was an act of mercy.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to go too far, but just saying, so why would you even put a doctrine like that out if it was said? You got to put that out there. But why would you even put that out there for believing sisters to not, to take their hope away? It sounds like some prideful, jealous shit that, like the guy mentioned. That's why it made sense, because he added that part onto it when I heard it. But that we don't know if it's true or not.
But clarification should come out.
Yeah. Clarify that.
Yeah. Got your breakdown. Stand on that.
You know us. Immediately we hear some shit, we own it. We're gonna attack it, man. You know what I mean? It may have been that y'all didn't really say it. You know, we ain't gonna
clarify
just come out and clear the air on that, man. You know, but you know, we have to, you know, because the doctrine is pure. Right. And the Lord, he put us in trust with the gospel, so we're gonna make sure it stays pure, man.
I'll make a quick point of this to say this, right? Years ago, I remember Apostle Hart said something, but I understood when I heard him say it, I understood why he said it. He said, we don't need the Israelite woman to bring back the kingdom of heaven. But he was making a point, for if sisters is gonna get right, you ain't gonna come in here and destroy this thing, first off. Secondly, y'all gotta clean yourselves up too. Thirdly, it's the man's seed, and most importantly, what they were breaking down that I remember, it's the man's seed that brings forth the bloodline.
It's a manifold statement, you know, because it also it also get rid of pride, get rid of pride, you know.
It's a humbling thing. And which was part of why he said it, you know.
Yeah, kind.
Yeah, that was. I just want to touch on that terrorist week, and then these false teachers, because there's a lot of things, and we got to be on our job of understanding how to break it down and dispel those false doctrines. And some of them are super slick, man. It's gonna sound like scripture until you actually go into it and actually understand the difference, and once you break it down the right way, and once you've heard it broken down or learn it broken down the right way.
Yeah. Like the whole new covenant thing, that's and brothers, we addressed it, and we ain't gonna keep harping on it.
Right.
I think a lot of edification came out of it, but that's just, something like that. The Spirit, it was a reason why that it had to be addressed. Certain things through the Spirit get revealed and it gets addressed. Certain controversial, disputings and certain doctrines coming up.
Yeah.
The Spirit addresses it and then moves on to the next thing. All right, but hey, you have to. You definitely not in the Spirit if you teaching that we're already in the new covenant.
Right.
Yeah.
We ain't saying that because what they'll say is, well, if you're saying that we're not in the new covenant, then basically you're
So we're on the old covenant.
you're either saying that we're still in the old covenant, or you saying that the blood of Yahweh Shai wasn't efficient enough.
Right.
That's not what we're saying.
Right.
What Yahweh Shai's blood did do was it actually it finalized the covenant.
Yeah.
It made it firm.
Yeah.
It's official.
Yeah.
All right. Basically, it's when something is set in stone or cemented,
Yeah.
that means that it's firm. That's what it is. That's what His blood did for the new covenant. But we're still under grace, waiting on the Lord to come and fulfill the fullness of the new covenant.
Yeah, the
I heard a
contract.
great analogy. So perfect. When I heard it, I was like, man, that's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
I don't remember who said it. It might have been you, bro, that said it. But he said basically, it's like when you're in the NBA, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you're in the NBA, you draft day, you get drafted.
Oh, yeah.
You go in there, and now it was you, I think that said it. But he said you go ahead and you sign a contract, but you ain't started no games yet.
Yeah.
But you gotta go to that team. You just signed a contract, so you gotta go to that team. But there's a time period that you have to wait before the practice starts and all of that.
Yeah, usually between that time period, you're working out, training.
You're training.
Exactly.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, learning the playbook.
But you're getting yourself right in that grace period.
You gotta earn that 30 days off, man. It ain't just about to get you.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we gotta earn getting into that going straight way into that second coming without having to go with just by faith. Yep.
This is why He gave us the earnest of the Spirit.
Yep.
He gave us a guarantee that, hey, you take what I give you down as a down payment right now and utilize that and walk in the Spirit, use the talent that I gave you, that once you endure to the end using these things, hey, I'm going to fulfill everything else.
Yep.
That's when I'm going to come through and I'm going to change you. You're going to be adopted back to your first estate. That's what comes with that agreement, man.
Lord is gonna
If
keep
he's gonna program us to do righteousness, like we're not gonna ever go off. Come on, man. That's promised. So if it's been promised, that means that, hey, let's work so that when the Lord comes back, he can perform it. Because He's gonna do it. The blood already solidified he's gonna do it. All right. Other than that, because if you're saying that we're in the new covenant, and I asked that dude, I don't even
that guy, I don't remember.
that guy,
Yeah.
but I threw the question out there: do Apostle Paul, do he believe? Because he was the one that wrote the book of Hebrews.
Yeah.
Did he believe that he was in the new covenant? And if so, how does he believe? How does he believe he's in the new covenant? But then you have Romans the 7th chapter.
Right.
He's gonna write what he wrote in Romans the 7th chapter, but then believe he's in the new covenant. Go to it.
Yeah. Watch what he said.
Let's go to it. Read the new covenant first. Go to Hebrews 8. You got it. Start at
6.
get Hebrews first, and then we're gonna get.
You want Hebrews something from
Hebrews 8,
what?
right?
Yeah, Hebrews 8 and start like around maybe
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
This is Hebrews 8, Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 6. It says, but now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises.
Yep.
For if that first covenant,
Because the beautiful part of this, and it's funny you said it because of the first covenant, right? But the beautiful part of the second covenant is that we get it written in us. Because that was the fault of the first covenant. It wasn't written in us to be
It
perfect.
was written on what?
Stone. Stone.
Because we had that stony heart.
Right.
You know, we had that heart of, you know, being perverse,
Yep.
you know,
Wanting to see
rebellious.
something- Yeah, something,
You know what I'm saying?
Something different is all about.
And in the law, it tells us we're supposed to teach our children and their children, you know, the law. All those generations of teaching them, it still didn't stop us from going off.
Yep.
All right, so that means what? That we were made subject unto that scenario. All right, that even though we have the law, but the law was there to tell us where we were going off.
Yeah.
You know,
No different
we
than
have
Esau's
to
law.
be taught the law versus it already being in us.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's why on the Sabbath we would read the law.
we have to remind ourselves of the law. That's why we have to wear the fringes,
Yep.
the phylacteries, and all that. To remind ourselves to keep the commandments. The Lord is actually going to put it into us in the new
We
covenant.
gotta be reminded.
We ain't got to be reminded. It's going to be automatically in us. On this side right now.
It's gonna be our software.
You're going to tell me you don't get wicked thoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
The thought of foolishness is
It's
sin.
kind, bro. Kind.
and we're not going to have to teach each other,
Con.
you know?
Like, why are we got to go back and forth with the IUIC and the ISUBK about the Sabbath day? You're not supposed to have sex on the Sabbath day. Under the new covenant, we ain't gonna have to be. That's
Everybody
not gonna
gonna
be a
understand
matter
it.
among
Yep.
us. You know? Come on, man.
Everybody gonna be on one accord.
Yep.
Con. Go ahead.
Verse 7, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second.
Yep.
For finding fault with them, he saith,
For what?
for finding fault with them,
For finding fault with them.
Yeah.
The fault wasn't in the actual law and the contract. The fault was in us.
Right.
We couldn't keep it because we have that what? We have that stony heart.
Yeah. We were walking in the flesh,
Yeah.
and not the spirit.
Yeah, man. The fault wasn't if the Lord. It was like it would have been like the Lord didn't make any change at all if we're in a new covenant, but we're still liable to break the covenant. Then what's the purpose of making a new one? Then?
Yeah.
Right.
You see? Go ahead.
for finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord.
Yep.
For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
It's all of Israel, man.
Yep. So
You
he's
guys
gonna,
ever read that part?
yeah. the house of Judah and the house of Israel.
Yep, the two kingdoms.
So two kingdoms being brought together. He's gonna put the law, statutes, commandments